till I can't no more.
I got the horses in the back. Horse stock is a
Okay, good morning to all of you. So this is Vijayam Physics classes and I am Siraj Kumar, and today we are going to discuss a topic called resolution of a vector, and also I am going to discuss about Lami's theorem, and apart from that we are going to discuss about tangent law. So three concepts we are going to discuss today. One is the resolution of a vector, Lami's theorem and tangent law. Okay, see carefully here. In the last class we discussed about what is a vector and scalar, and we also discussed about the types of vectors, and apart from that we discussed about the parallelogram law of vector addition. Okay, and today we are going to discuss about the resolution of a vector. Means here, suppose if I consider a vector, say a vector is having both magnitude and direction. So let us consider one vector here. Okay, so let us say the magnitude of this vector is r. Then I see here how we can represent this vector. Actually, resolution of a vector means what here? Say resolution of a vector is nothing but resolving the vector into its components. Okay, means what you see, resolving the vector into its components means what? This is a components means, suppose for example, say let us say first let us consider two-dimensional. First let us talk about the two-dimensional. See here we have a vector. Say this vector can be resolved into two components. So what are those components here? Either along x-axis or along y-axis. Okay, see, resolving this vector along the x and y axis is called resolution of a vector. Okay, see, observe here carefully. Let us say this vector is there. See, let us choose one origin, and this is the tail and this is the head of the vector. Okay, the magnitude of the vector is r. Then I say, what is its magnitude along x axis? Then what is its magnitude along y axis? So that is called as component. See, component means what here? Component is nothing but the magnitude of that particular vector along x-axis and y-axis. Okay, see, let us say carefully. Let us say, see for this vector, let us say the magnitude of this one is x, and along x-axis, and its magnitude along y-axis is y. Let us say, and let us say it is making an angle theta here. This vector is making an angle theta with x-axis. Then you see what you can write. You see the vector r. Okay, this is a vector r. Can be written as, see here, x I cap. See, you know about I cap, j cap, and k cap. In the last class I said that. See, I cap means what? It's a unit vector along x axis. J cap means unit vector along y axis, and k cap means unit vector along z axis. Now see carefully, see this r can be written as xi cap plus yj cap. See what is the meaning of this one here? See the vector r can be resolved into two components. See in the two dimension. In the two dimension it can be resolved as two components. One is x component and y component. And its magnitude along x axis is how much? Xi cap. And its magnitude along y axis is how much? It is y. Then here, what about magnitude of this r? The magnitude of the r is nothing but root over x square plus y square. Okay, see, observe one more time. See, observe here. See carefully here. Okay, see here, see this is making angle theta here. Okay, and see, let us say, see this is y axis, so y component y, and x component is x. Okay, then you see this one is magnitude of the vector r. Okay, see from this diagram, now tell me what is sine theta. See sine theta is equals to y by r. Therefore, what is the y value? R sine theta. Okay, then see carefully what is the cos theta here? The cos theta is equals to x by r. Therefore, what is the x value here? R cos theta. So therefore here you can also write, say the vector r can also be written as, see, xi cap plus yj cap. In the place of x, can I substitute r cos theta? Means what here, see r cos theta I cap plus r sin theta j cap. Okay. Okay. See, this is another way of representing the vector here. Okay. 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 Now see carefully. See the r is equals to r cos theta I cap plus r sin theta j cap. Means what is r cos theta here? It's nothing but it's a component along x-axis. R sin theta is what? The component along y-axis. And again see, this is very important point. See carefully here. The component of a vector is a scalar. See, component of a vector is scalar. Why? Because you are going to represent here this magnitude. See, the component is what? The r cos theta. It's a magnitude. Okay, maybe it is having one direction. Say again, can you resolve that one? Again, r cos theta, can you resolve more? Okay, it's not possible in the same direction. Okay, are you following what I am saying here? So that's why see, please try to remember the component of a vector is a scalar. Okay, see once again, see what do you mean by resolution of a vector? Resolution of a vector means what? Resolving the vector into its components. Say along x-axis and y-axis in 2-dimensional. Okay, I hope you understood this. Now see carefully, let us try to discuss the same component of vector in 3-dimensional. So 3-dimensional means what? Means along x, y and z axis also. Okay, x, y and z axis also we will discuss in this one. Okay, see carefully, see let us see carefully, but see this is 3-dimensional. Okay, see here in the 3-dimensional, see carefully what we have here. Let us say, see let us consider one volume here. See let us consider one cube shape here. This is the cube. Okay, now see carefully here. See along, suppose let us say this is the origin. See this one is along x-axis. This is y-axis. And say let us say this one is z-axis. Okay, now say let us say this is the point where the vector is there. This is the vector is r. And its magnitude, this vector can be resolved into 3 components, x, y and z. So one is along x-axis, let us say this one is x, this one is y and this one is z. Means their magnitudes. The magnitude along x-axis is x, y-axis is y and z-axis is z. Therefore see here what you can write is the vector r can be written as the vector can be represented as xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. Okay, x, y and z. Okay, means here this is the magnitude. This is only the magnitude. Okay, then here what is the magnitude of the r here? The magnitude of the r is nothing but root over x square plus y square plus z square. Okay, but see carefully here. Say like earlier we got r cos theta I cap plus r sin theta j cap, that is in 2-dimensional. So here what we do, here you cannot represent like that. So that's why here what we do, we use what is that is called direction cosines we use here. Okay, what we use here, see we will call them as direction cosine. So what is this direction cosines here? See, observe here carefully. See, observe here, see in this diagram, see let us say this r is making an angle alpha, okay, with x-axis, and with y-axis let us say it is making an angle beta, okay, and with z-axis let us say it is making an angle beta, angle gamma. See carefully here, see with x, see the r is making an angle alpha with x-axis, and see here angle beta with y-axis, and here angle gamma with z-axis. Okay, see here observe here carefully, let us say, see this is the r, this is R, this is X, and this is alpha, let us say. Now tell me what you can write here. You can write X is equals to R cos alpha. Then similarly, what else you can write here? You can write here Y is equal to R cos beta and Z is equals to R cos gamma. Okay, see just like that, just like this, X, Y and Z if you take, then here you can write like that. Then see carefully, this cos alpha. So what is this cos alpha here? See, cos alpha is nothing but, okay, see remember this is the magnitude here. See, I am writing a magnitude. Okay, you can write like this. This is the magnitude. Okay, so then now tell me what is the cos alpha here? See, cos alpha is equal to X by R. We'll write it as L. Then I see carefully, what is the cos beta here? It's nothing but Y by R. Okay, Y by magnitude of the R. We'll call it as M. Then see carefully, cos gamma, we can write it as Z by R. We'll write it as N. Okay, okay, are you following? See, these are called as direction cosines. See, cos alpha represents what? Along x-axis. Cos beta represents what? Along y-axis. Cos gamma represents what? Along z-axis. Okay, so these are called as direction cosines. So usually the direction cosine will write it as L, M and N. Okay, are you following? So what I am saying here? Now say let us say for time being, so let us calculate L square plus M square plus N square. Now tell me what is L square here? It's nothing but X square by magnitude of R square plus Y square by magnitude of R square plus Z square by magnitude of R square. Okay, now say anyhow all are R square, so can I write down this one? X square plus Y square plus Z square by magnitude of R square. But you say what is the magnitude of R here? Root of X square plus Y square by Z square. Therefore here what is R square here? It's nothing but X square plus Y square plus Z square. See, therefore what is L square plus M square plus N square here? Now tell me. So X square plus Y square plus Z square is nothing but magnitude of R square by magnitude of R square is nothing but 1. Therefore see carefully, see it's a very important result. See, L square plus M square plus N square equal to 1. Therefore see here what you can do, L is nothing but cos alpha, therefore cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma equal to 1. Okay, see here cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma equal to 1. Okay, are you following what I am saying here? See carefully here. See what I am going to discuss here. I am discussing about the resolution of a vector. So resolution of a vector means resolving the vector into its components. Either it can be 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional. So in the 3-dimensional, so what we got is we got X, Y and Z. So it's simply what we write as the magnitudes. These are now magnitudes. So this is a vector. Okay, so vector is having magnitude and direction. Then what is the magnitude here? Root over X square plus Y square plus Z square. But here what about the direction here? How can I find the direction? So that I can find by using the direction cosines. One is cos alpha, cos beta, cos gamma. Therefore, see what we got here, cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma equal to 1. Okay, now see there is one question is there. Okay, I will rub this top part. There is one question is there. Suppose if cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma equal to 1, then find sin square alpha plus sin square beta plus sin square gamma. Okay, find out this one and please kindly type your answer in the comment box. Sir, I found that many of you are answering a very good answers. So thank you for giving answers. So everyone please try. See whoever is listening to this video, please kindly answer to the questions whatever I am asking here. Okay. Okay, see carefully, see please find out sin square alpha plus sin square beta plus sin square gamma. When cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma equal to 1. Okay, this is called resolution of a vector. Okay, so let us try one problem based on this one. See, the resolution of a vector is very important for us because, see, whenever you are solving any problem in physics, see, the resolution of vector plays an important role. Means to understand the problem. Okay, to understand the problem, it's very important. Okay, see here for example, see, let us consider. See one example here, example 1. See, let us say there is one vector is there, its value is 10 Newton. Okay, it is making angle 45 degrees. Okay, then you have find its components. So find its components. Say vector is 10, let us call it as A. Say A is equal to 10 Newton, that is its magnitude. But here what about its what is it is called? Its value along x-axis and y-axis. See carefully, this is angle 45, therefore definitely this one is how much here? 10 cos 45 degrees. And this one is what? 10 sine 45 degrees. What is 10 cos 45 value? 10 by root 2. It's nothing but 5 root 2. Okay, and this is also the 5 root 2 because 10 sine 45 is also 10 by root 2. Means here, see the vector A can be written as what? See, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. Therefore, it can be written as 5 root 2 I cap plus 5 root 2 j cap. Are you following what I am saying? How we can write a vector along its components? Means this is the method. So let us look at another example just to understand the process of the resolution of the vector. So let us say they are given. Okay, see carefully here. See the example 2. See, let us say they are given one vector. Okay, they are given one vector. See, they are given here. This is 30 degrees. Now here they give the y component they give. See, they said the y component is 5. Okay, then find what is A and also find what is the x component. Then see here how we can do this one. Okay, are you following what I am saying here? Are you understanding what I am saying here? Here they simply gave that this is 5 and they gave this angle. They are asking what is this vector, what is the vector magnitude and also what is the x component. Then here how we can find. Okay, see carefully here. See this A and see this one is AX, this one is AY. Okay, and here what is AY value? AY is equal to A sine theta. Okay, see that is its magnitude. But what is the AY value they give? This is 5, this is A, and what is this one? Sine 30 degrees. Because theta value they give 30 degrees here. So therefore here 5 is equals to A by 2. Therefore what is the A value? It's 10. Means what A value is how much here? It is 10. Okay, are you following? See means here you got the A value. Okay, if you know the A value, then here what is the AX value? It's nothing but A cos theta. Okay, therefore here what is the AX value? It's nothing but A 10 cos 30 degrees. Means what is the AX value? It's nothing but 10 into root 3 by 2. Means AX value is 5 root 3. Okay, means here you got the AX value, you got the AY value. Now tell me what is the vector A? See, remember it's a magnitude of the A is 10. So what is the vector A? See, along x-axis 5 root 3 I cap plus along y-axis 5 j cap. Okay, are you following what I am saying here? Means here it's so simple. Thing is that you should understand this resolution of the vector. Means how to resolve a vector along its components. See here how to resolve the vector along its component. That you must learn. That is must. Now see, let us look at one more problem. See, which I found in H.C. Verma. Okay, see that is also very interesting problem and very easily you can solve if you have an idea of this resolution of the vector. Okay, see carefully, see the example 3. Okay, so in this example 3, what we are going to do, see carefully. So let us say they are given one example. See, it is there in the H.C. Verma. You can find that one. You can find in H.C. Verma. Okay, see carefully here. Okay, see carefully here. See, let us say this one is one vector. This is another vector. This is another vector they give. See, this one they give 5 centimeter. And this one they give 3 centimeter. This one they give 4 centimeter. Now they are asking what is the resultant of this vector, and here they give this one is 37 degrees. Okay, say they won't give the value of 37 degrees in the exam, but remember sine 37 degrees value is how much? It is 3 by 5, and if cos 37 degrees values is how much? It is 4 by 5. Okay, first what we'll do, see carefully, this one is along x-axis, no doubt. This one is along y-axis, no doubt. See what we'll do, we'll resolve this one into two components first. Okay, we'll resolve this 5 into two components here. What is that one? One is 5 cos 37 degrees. This one is 5 sine 37 degrees. Okay, that's the first step. What is cos 37? 4 by 5. 5 into 4 by 5. It is 4 centimeter. This one 5 into 3 by 5. That is 3 centimeter. Okay, now see, let us redraw this one. See here the impact of, see here the component means what? That nothing but the impact of that vector. See here the 5 along x-axis is how much? 4, and this 5 along y-axis is how much? 3. So therefore here let us redraw the diagram. Okay, sorry. See, let us redraw this diagram. See carefully, let us say this is the origin, we started from origin. See, first see along x-axis. See, in this direction what we got here? Okay, we got 4 centimeter. And then what we got here? We got 3 centimeter. Okay, now see, look at the y-axis here. In this direction what we got here? We got 3 centimeter. Again in this direction what we got here? We got 4 centimeter. See here in the parallelogram law we discussed it. If two vectors are in the same direction, okay, if two vectors are in the same direction, then what we can do? See, the resultant is maximum. It's nothing but a plus b. Okay, you remember that? So therefore, here, what is the resultant of these two here? From the origin, see, this is the origin. See, from the origin, see, this one is 7 centimeter and this one is 7 centimeter. Remember, all these are vectors. Okay, all these are vectors. Okay. Okay. See, we resolved and we got this this vector only in this direction. The component again you cannot resolve. That is different value. That is a different thing. Now see, this is 7 centimeter. This is 7 centimeter. Therefore, what is the resultant of these two? It's nothing but 7 root 2 centimeters. Why? Because see, the resultant is nothing but root over 7 square plus 7 square. Therefore, 2 into 7 square, it's nothing but 7 root 2 centimeter. Okay, are you following what I am saying here? Means, say, whenever they'll give any components like this, see, just always follow, always resolve into components and try to do that sum. It will be quite easy. Okay? Okay, now see, let us look at now. See here, what is it today? So apart from resolution of the vector, so resolution of the vector we can do in either 2-dimensional or 3-dimensional. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the Lami's theorem. Okay, see what is this Lami's theorem? See, Lami's theorem is a very simple theorem. So what it is saying is that suppose if there are 3 forces are there or 3 vectors are there. Okay, if there are 3 vectors are there, 3 vectors are acting at one point. Okay, if 3 vectors are acting at one point and it is in equilibrium. Okay, if it is in equilibrium means what? See, it is not, it does not mean that it is at rest. It is, its acceleration is 0. Or maybe it is at rest. Okay, so here come on everyone first write down the Lami's theorem. So what is Lami's theorem? Okay, see here if 3 coplanar forces, okay, if 3 coplanar forces acting at a point, okay, acting at a point, and the object is in equilibrium, okay, equilibrium, Okay, then each vector, okay, here I wrote force. Okay, each force is proportional to, okay, each force is proportional to the sine of the angle, between the forces. Okay, so each force is proportional to what? The sine of the angle between the forces. Say once again, see carefully, see, read this statement. This is a very, very important statement. So what is Lami's theorem? If three coplanar forces acting at a point and the object is in equilibrium, then the force is proportional to what? The sine of the angle between the forces in the opposite. Okay? Okay, see, I'll explain this one. See carefully, let us say this is the object. So on this object, let us say there are three forces are acting. Let us say this one is F1, and let us say this one is F2, and here let us say this one is F3. See, there are three forces are acting. See, let us say the F1, see the opposite, see in the opposite I said, means here let us say the angle is alpha here, and for this one the angle is beta, and for this one let us say the angle is gamma. See what I said here, see if three coplanar forces acting at a point, see three are acting here, and the object is in equilibrium, then each force is proportional to what? It is proportional to the sine of the angle in the opposite. Okay? Okay, now see carefully, it is nothing but sine alpha. F1 by sine alpha is equals to, see, F2 by sine beta is equals to F3 by sine gamma. This is the Lami's theorem. You can see carefully here. See here, what is this one? See, if the force is proportional to what? The force is proportional to the angle in the opposite. Okay, between the opposite forces. There is the meaning of this. Okay, please remember this formula that I will tell you. Okay, I will show you one example. In that example, we will understand this one. Okay, see here, F1 by sine alpha is equals to F2 by sine beta is equals to F3 by sine gamma. See, F1 by sine alpha, F2 by sine beta, F3 by sine gamma. Just opposite of that. See, it's very, very important. See, why it is very, very important? See, this one we will be using in the Newton laws of motion also later on. And also regarding, let us say, in order to find in the ship and wind problems, there also we are going to use the Lami's theorem. And also see, whenever there are three different vectors are there at a point, so in all those cases you can use this Lami's theorem especially. Okay, see here, let us see one example here. Okay, so let us say, okay, this is there like this. Now, they are given one problem like this. Let's say this is T1, they said, this is T2, and here they hang some weight here. Let's say this one is W weight, and here they gave that this one is 90 degrees angle, and this one they gave this is 30 degrees angle. Okay, now tell me here. Now they asked, okay, find T1 and T2. Okay, find T1 and T2. Then you see how we can do this one. See how we can do this one. See, this is very, very important. See carefully, observe here carefully. See, there are three forces are there or not? Say 1, 2 and 3. Where this is also one force. Okay, and see carefully, and let us first try to find out what is the angle here. See, what is this angle, what is this angle we should find. See carefully, let me draw one straight line here. See, this is like a right angle triangle. So this is 90 degrees. Therefore, this one is how much here? 60 degrees. And here this one is 90 degrees. Okay, now tell me here, what is the angle? This is 90. This is 90, this is 60. How much is this? 90 plus 60, 150 degrees. This is anyhow 90 degrees. 150 plus 90 is how much? 240. So 360 minus 240 is how much? That is 120. So means how much is this angle here? This is 120 degrees angle. See here, remember we can use other methods also to solve this problem. I am just trying to explain here the Lami's method, the Lami's theorem method. Okay, therefore here see carefully what we got here. According to Lami's theorem, see this is T1 by, see the opposite angle 90 degrees, sine 90 degrees, that is equals to, see carefully this is W. W by what is the opposite angle is sine 150 degrees. Okay, then you see we have got here T2, T2 by sine 120 degrees. Okay, so T1 by sine 90 is equals to W by sine 150 equal to T2 by sine 120. Means what? See, it's nothing but say that particular force in the opposite angle, the sine of that opposite angle. Okay, see, observe here carefully. Here we have sine 150 degrees is equals to sine 180 minus 30 degrees. Can I write like that? Sine 180 minus 30 is how much? Nothing but sine 30 degrees. So nothing but 1 by 2. Then similarly, say take a sine 120. What is sine 120? It is nothing but sine 180 minus 60 degrees. So it's nothing but sine 60 degrees. It's nothing but root 3 by 2. Okay, now let us take these two because anyhow all are equal here. Let us take T1 by sine 90 degrees is equals to W by sine 150. Okay, sine 90 value is how much? Say sine 90 degrees is equal to 1. Therefore, T1 equal to W by, what is sine 150 we got? 1 by 2. Therefore, what is a T1? It's nothing but 2W. Okay. Then similarly, see let us take these two here. So T2 by sine 120 degrees. Okay, sine 120 degrees is equals to W by sine 150 degrees. Therefore, T2 by, what is sine 120 here? It's nothing but root 3 by 2 by W by 1 by 2. Therefore, what is the T2 value? You can calculate simply this one. So what is the T2 value? It's nothing but root 3 into W. Okay? Okay, now are you following what I am saying here? Okay, please try to understand this one. Okay, now? So this is the applications of Lami's theorem. So in the Lami's theorem, every time what we'll do, just we'll take the opposite angle and the sine of that opposite angle and we'll just equate them and we'll find it. Okay? Okay, I hope you understood this today's class. See, we discussed about the resolution of vector in 2 dimension as well as 3 dimension, and also we discussed about the direction cosines regarding 3 dimension, and also we discussed about the Lami's theorem and we try to apply in one problem. Okay, thank you all. This is Vijayam Physics classes. Please kindly watch and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.